All right, we're gonna try this again. So I tried recording on my laptop, and the video was just stuttery and just terrible, absolutely terrible. Let's try bringing this up. The picture quality on this, if it comes across on the video like what I'm seeing, then the picture quality on this is my Pixel 3. The picture quality on this is amazing. And I remember the mic from whenever I did a test in my car. The mic was really, really awesome. So, like, I think rather than recording directly off of my laptop when I'm out on the road, I'll probably record from this camera. And I might, like, go full douchebag and get a selfie stick and everything. Who knows? Who knows? Wow, the camera on this is like really, really amazing. And this is the front view camera. I think that the other camera is actually um, better resolution or better quality. Wow, this camera is awesome. Where's the camera at? Sorry, I'm gonna. All right, so the camera is down at this end. Let me. Just wiped it off. So I like it. So, um, the other video I'm not going to upload. It was so poor quality. So, just a second. All right, I paused it for just a second. What is this? 1.4? Ooh, that's a zoom. All right, we're down to one time. That was zoomed in for some reason. I don't know why it was zoomed in. It was at like a 1.4 times zoom. Hmm. Odd. What is this button? Oh, I think that takes a picture. Okay. And it has a timer on it. Okay, so I like this so far. It has a timer. The other one that I was using on the laptop didn't have a timer, but I can download all kinds of software. Why is it so white? When I did the zoom in, I think it's because I've got I just like shut my laptop screen. So I'm in my bedroom. I normally record from my computer room. Um, so what were the things that I was going over in the other video? Basically, the whole point of this video is testing recording stuff. I've been procrastinating on testing recording on the laptop and testing recording on my phone. I did one recording on the phone driving to Panda Express, and I was really like impressed with the video and audio quality. Like the mic on this thing is pretty awesome, and the camera on this thing is really awesome. I'm disappointed with the laptop. The laptop camera was horrible. The mic was horrible. I can wear a headset. You know what? I'm gonna have to like turn the TV off. I keep watching the game. There's a game on the wall right there behind. It's the Seahawks and the Packers. I've been watching playoff games yesterday and today. The so I'm testing video quality, audio quality on this, testing how I'm going to do the uploads. I would like to find some way to upload these. I'm going to try to use the YouTube app to see if I can upload files using the YouTube app through the phone. I might have to move it over to the computer and then go back and forth. I haven't found a good way to upload through the phone. The YouTube apps on the phone are kind of crap. I'll look through them again and see if I can find a way to upload this file and see if it'll actually put it in the correct orientation. But what's the status? What's going on with I bought a whole bunch of sheets and clothing, towels, various things like that. I did a bunch of laundry yesterday to get all that stuff cleaned. Ripping the tags off new stuff and then putting it through the washer. trying to get all that prepped. I want to have like my bag completely packed well before I get my CDL. I want to be ready to just grab my stuff and walk out the door when that week gets here. What's the? You're probably gonna get white again. I'm gonna open up the laptop. I had a list of items to talk about. So testing camera, laptop, and mic. Okay. Yeah, drug test. Might get bumped in CDL school. So, I thought that I had everything done and ready to go. And turns out that the urine test that I did for the DOT medical was not a drug test. And they require a drug test here at the CDL school. And we're going to be working under hours of service. I think we might even be doing logbooks at the CDL school. And I think the reason is that when I went there to do paperwork, there were people driving out of the CDL school onto public roads. So I think a lot of their driving is out on public roads. So if that's the case, then it's basically like working for a company whenever you're going to CDL school because you're on public roadways. If you're on a closed course, then you wouldn't have to run logs or any stuff like that. But once you hit city streets, you get out on public roadways, then I think you're going to have to run logs. They told me that I couldn't work a full-time job while I was going to class and stuff like that, and I would be regulated by the 70-hour clock and all kinds of stuff. There was a bunch of stuff that I had to sign. And so the drug test, I've done a ton of preparation leading up to this, and the drug test is the only thing that I did not have done because I thought it was done and I was mistaken. So I went in Wednesday to Access Medical to get the drug test. They told me that it should be done by Friday, Monday at the latest. So I was like, all right. I called them today to see if it was done and, see if they could email it to me. And they told me it wasn't done and then it could take up to 5 business days. It's really frustrating when somebody sets an expectation with you and then somebody else, whenever they're unable to meet that expectation, then all of a sudden, oh, well, it could be up to 5. Like they were just telling you the optimistic number of it. It's usually 3 days. That ticks me off. That reminds me of back in my old days trucking. Whenever you get there and the shippers and receivers, they're supposed to have you loaded or unloaded within 2 hours. You spend 8 hours there, and then they try to make up some stupid excuses to not pay you any kind of detention pay, and you end up not getting paid for 8 hours of sitting there, going back and forth with your dispatchers, and then your dispatcher treats you like you were in your sleeper berth that whole time, and they expect you to drive for like 11 hours straight after that. That is the stupid stuff that I dealt with last time I was in the industry, and I'm hoping that ELDs kind of cracks down on that a little bit. I've heard that shippers and receivers and carriers, the contracts are a lot more strict now on load and unload times and how long that time takes and everything, because the ELDs they just abuse drivers back when I was driving, because the expectation was that drivers would log all of that time they spent at shippers and receivers as off duty. And you may spend 10 hours at a shipper or a receiver at, someplace like Costco where they wouldn't let you sit in your truck. You would have to sit in the office. You'd have to cut your airlines, put your landing gear down. Sometimes they'd make you put a glad lock, a glad hand lock on your airlines. And then on top of all that, they would make you go sit in the office while you got loaded or unloaded. And my company would expect me to log all that as off duty, like I was sleeping or something that whole time. And I don't know. I'm not a big fan of ELDs, but hopefully it puts the carriers in check. The drivers, in my opinion, are not the problem. There are definitely problem drivers, but they are a very small percentage. I think the biggest problem in the trucking industry is carriers pushing drivers to do things illegal. And I don't even think it's the upper level management at the carriers. I think the upper level management at the carriers are more concerned with, not getting in accidents and breakdowns and stuff like that, because that costs them a ton of money. It's the dispatchers, it's the low level people at these carriers that push the drivers to do illegal things. Dispatchers and these fleet managers, driver leaders, whatever, driver managers, whatever they want to call themselves, they're the ones that need to be put in check on all these regulations, because they're the ones that are pushing drivers to do all this illegal crap, in my opinion. But anyway, off that rant. So I'm really hoping that the drug test comes in tomorrow. And I'm really hoping that the CDL school lets me go ahead and go to class without the drug test being completed. The first, I think, 3 days are just class time. They're not. There's not going to be anything getting into a truck, driving a truck, nothing. It's all classroom for the first, I think they said 3 days. So I'm hoping that they will give me that time to get the drug test in. They told me that, like, once they kept telling me that it was critical that I get all my paperwork and everything in as soon as possible, and get my $2,500 in as soon as possible. They just kept making up a bunch of dumb excuses on why they needed my $2,500, basically. Once they got that check, though, and I didn't have all of the stuff that they needed, then they were like, oh, yeah, whatever. Just bring that in whenever. But that $2,500, oh my goodness. Yeah, I was a little upset with that whole thing. But I'm hoping that they continue to not care about the drug test, and I'll hopefully get the drug test at some time on Monday. But if I have until Wednesday, that would be the full 5 days. I'm hoping that they say as long as you have it in by Thursday, whenever you're actually going to be getting behind the seat of a truck, that you're okay. I hope that's what they tell me on Monday. I hope they don't push me back a week in class. If they do, it's not going to be the end of the world. It's not that big a deal. It's just another week. And the way I'm calculating the weeks is I was making roughly $1,200 a week, somewhere between $1,100 and $1,200 a week at my previous job. So every week that I'm delayed is I look at it as losing $1,000 or more. So I'm trying to get everything done to the point where I'm not going to have any delays, any downtime. And I hope that I've only had one, and it was kind of I've only had one negative thing happen so far, and it was kind of a big negative thing, and it's that my manager didn't let me use any of my time off, which I don't even know if that was in his control, but I don't think it was in his control. But there were things that he could have done. I mean, if I had a 12-year employee, like, we've had something like 3 people quit off this team within the last couple of years, and these are people that have been working at the company for 10 plus years, and like the way they were treated on their way out, and they did nothing wrong. Like, they resigned, like what I did. Like, I left the company on good terms. I wasn't like on any kind of write-ups or anything like that when I left. It's just, it makes me really just, it solidifies my decision to leave the company, because it makes it just so blatantly obvious that the company does not care about me at all. They were paying me the absolute minimum to keep me from quitting, and it ended up not being enough. Like, they got to the point where they paid me so little that I got tired of it and left. But yeah, it's just, that's been the only negative so far, was that I didn't get any kind of vacation pay whenever I left. I was planning on using 4 weeks of vacation on a resignation, but so that's like $4,000 that vanished, and I moved some money around and to cover for that, and I should have plenty of money to do what I'm planning on doing. So I'll go over the plan real quick. Real quick. I don't do anything real quick. You know, I'm going to ramble for about 20 minutes on it. The plan. So CDL school, approximately 1 month. As soon as I get my CDL, I plan on being in orientation with USA Truck that same week. Orientation is 3 days with them. They said that there's no delay on orientation or getting a trainer. They said that it's. I asked them. I said, so is it like, you know, some of these carriers where I might have to sit around for a week waiting on a trainer or anything like that? And they said no. We have plenty of trainers. You will be with a trainer the day after orientation. You may be assigned a trainer while you're in your last day of orientation. They made it sound like there are no delays whatsoever for orientation or training or anything. It's all going to be streamlined. But hopefully that's true. Can't trust recruiters. Can't trust. I mean, their job is, they're salesmen. They're there to sell you. They're there to talk you into applying for the company and getting you in the door. So I don't trust recruiters. But hopefully what they say is true. And so if what they say is true, then 28 days of CDL school, or no, wait, it's 20 days. 4 weeks at 5 days? Is that right? 4 times 5 is 20. Well, I mean, if you look at it, if you count in weekends, yeah, it's 28 days. So 7 day weeks times 4, 28 days. And, you know, the weekends are still going to be there. I'm not going to be going to CDL school on the weekends, but they're still going to be there. So 28 days for CDL school. Then the following week after CDL school, so that would be week 5, will be a CDL test and orientation. And I should start training that same week. Hopefully, like, I should get into orientation Wednesday. Orientation ends on Friday. And then Saturday, I should be with a trainer. I don't really want to sit around and, you know, if they offer me to sit in the hotel Saturday and Sunday and start my training on Monday, no. Let's go. Let's do it now. I don't want to sit around and waste time on anything. But then it's another 28 days or 4 weeks with, and they say up to 28 days with a trainer. Given that I have previous driving experience, I think I'm going to catch on really quick. I don't expect that I'm going to go out there and just knock it out of the park and be able to do everything immediately. I was exposed to that on riding my motorcycle to sell it the other day. I think it was Friday that I sold my motorcycle. No, it was Thursday. I couldn't even remember how to start my motorcycle. I was turning the key in the wrong direction. I thought I had an electrical problem because the all of the gauges were not lighting up whenever I turned the key on. And like, there were a couple of little things that I was just like, you know, after about a mile, I was like, should I really be driving this thing? I should, like, before I do a crosstown rush hour drive on my motorcycle, maybe I should drive it around the block a couple of times to familiarize myself. And, like, I should have done some maintenance on it before driving it there, because I could feel the tire pressure was low. And my brake pressure on my front brake was really low. And there were a couple of things. But, you know, just 2 years of not riding my motorcycle, I was able to do it, but, like, it took a little bit. So it's been like almost 15 years since I've driven a semi or a tractor. And it's going to be, you know, a little bit for me to get back in the groove of things. I fully expect that. But back on topic, I say that, the explanation on that was because the 28-day training is up to 28 days. I'm hoping that they let me finish early. And then they told me on leasing with the company, I've heard 3 months, I've heard 6 months, I've heard 9 months, I've heard a year. No, I don't think I've heard a year. 3, 6, and 9 months are the three things I think I've heard. And then I saw a post on, I think it was Indeed, where someone was talking about how they were able to lease on after being with the company for 4 months. But that doesn't say that they only had 4 total months of experience. They might have had a year of experience somewhere else, and then they worked as a company driver for 4 months and then leased on. But I am going to try to harass the leasing people and get them to let me lease as soon as possible. I'm also going to try to get through training as soon as possible. Basically, I want to expedite everything as much as possible because I want to get to the point where I'm making money. And once I get once I'm leased on with the truck, that's when I can start making money. The ceiling on being a company driver, especially at their like entry level wages, is like 60,000, maybe $70,000 a year. For me to get up to $80,000 a year on their entry level wages, I would have to be doing crazy miles per week. I would have to be doing like 3,500 plus miles a week at their 40 cents a mile. So it would be really tough to make decent money as a company driver, but I should be able to make roughly $1,000 a week. And at $1,000 a week, I'm not going to be falling in the hole. I'll be able to, live comfortably and be fairly stationary on my finances at $1,000 a week. So if all goes well, then within 3 to 6 months, I'll have my own truck. I'm hoping that they let me do my own financing. I'm hoping that they don't tell me that I have to buy through one of their places or lease through one of their places or whatever. I should have the credit and down payment to finance through a normal bank. And what I've been looking at and what I think I'm going to do it's been like shooting upward this whole time. What I've been thinking about I'm going to do is rider. So I looked at Bulldog, which is what they have on their site, and Bulldog has some fairly crap equipment. Like, it's really low end stuff. It's like very basic, but they don't charge a ton for it. It's like $30,000. You can find quite a few trucks for $30,000, but you're looking at like 2012 year models, and they have 600, 700,000 miles on them, and they look like they've been beat to hell. They are in really bad condition. I don't know who they're reselling these trucks for. I don't know what mega carrier they're getting these trucks from, but they're in horrible condition. And given how bad the interior condition is, I have to just guess that the maintenance is not good on these trucks. So I don't really want to buy from Bulldog. Tell charges a ridiculous premium on their financing and their lease and their equipment, all that stuff. Every place that I looked at that's on USA Truck's lease page is either the equipment is really bad or they're charging a ridiculous premium. There's no happy medium on there. So what I would like to do is finance through like my bank that I'm with, and buy through somebody else. Like, what I've been looking at is Ryder. Ryder has the best deals I've seen so far. I mean, there are some like Craigslist listings. There's probably some things on like Truck Paper or something like that that are decent deals, but I don't really want to deal with a private party sale. Um, Going through Ryder, there's to give you an example of what I want. I want a Volvo. Like none of this is like hard set. These are just the things that I want. But they are kind of like strong. Like I'm gonna get these things. So I want a Volvo. I want a full Volvo as far as engine and transmission. So I want a Volvo D13 engine. I want a Volvo transmission, and I want it to be automatic. Um, I want it to be 450 horsepower or higher. I want the gear ratio to be like 246 or 268, 267. I forget what the gear ratio is in the 2.6s. But I don't want it to be like 355 geared or anything like that. Um, from what I've read and the videos I've watched and everything, the Volvo 12-speed automatic transmission with the 450 horsepower engine and all that stuff can pull 6% grades at 80,000 pounds at like 45 miles an hour. And with the 246 gearing, I think it's 246, something in the 2.4s, might be 242. I think it's 246. With that gearing, it allows you to get really good fuel efficiency or fuel economy at like 70 miles an hour. So I don't want to get something that's like the gear ratio is like really high and it pulls the mountains amazing, but I have to drive at something like 58 miles an hour to get decent fuel economy. I want to be able to drive at 65 or 70 and still get, 7 miles per gallon or more. What are some other things? I would really like an APU, but the Volvos, the Volvo engine that I'm planning on getting has I don't really need an APU with it. I've heard that some APUs can get as good as like a tenth of a gallon per hour fuel usage. That's probably whenever you're not drawing much power off of it. That's probably when it's only running minimal heat and air and nothing else. But the Volvo D13 has some kind of thing where it can like close off some stuff and create some pressure and allow the engine to run at a really low RPM, like 600 RPM when idling. And it allows the engine to do something like half a gallon per hour, which normally an APU, most of what I've seen, APUs are doing like a quarter gallon per hour up to a half a gallon per hour. Somewhere in that range is normal APU usage. So a Volvo engine is just it's gonna cost you a little bit more, and to justify the $10,000 price tag of an APU, it would take you 2 or 3 years to recoup that cost. So if I can get one with an APU at the price of $30,000, which I've seen this particular setup that I want, and it's like a 2016 model or 2017 model. I've seen them on Ryder that are these specifications for low 30s, like 30 to 33,000. If I can get one for like 35,000 that has an APU, then awesome. But if it's going to cost me like $50,000 to get one that has an APU, which is generally the price I've seen, then it's not worth spending additional $10,000 to $20,000 to get one that has an APU. I'm never going to recoup that. So, I mean, yeah, there's additional wear and tear on the engine, but what this first truck is hopefully 2 to 3 years. Allow me to stack cash, and then I hope to buy a brand new, like, what would it be at that time? A 2022, 2023 model? That's what I hope the first truck does for me, is it just allows me to stack cash and get to the point where I can buy a brand new one in 2 to 3 years. So that's where I'm at. That's the plan. Tonight I don't need to do anything. I would like to get some more stuff done in preparation for leaving for orientation in a month. And that's about it. Maybe upload when I upload this video. And like recording at the CDL school is not a priority for me. I don't know how many live recordings of stuff happening that I'm actually going to do. Most of my videos are probably going to just be me sitting here talking to the camera. I really don't like drama. So whenever you bust out a camera and start recording people, it tends to create drama. People get defensive. So I think me recording in public is going to be limited. I don't know. Maybe at some point I'll start recording stuff like that. But I don't think I'm going to, like, Trucker Jukebox is one of the YouTube people that I watch. And he has like this strap thing that goes across his chest, and he has, like, how Iron Man has that thing on his heart. Trucker Jukebox has a GoPro that he wears on his chest there all the time. And almost every time he goes into a truck stop, somebody makes some comment about it and asks him if he's recording, and they usually roll their eyes at him. People don't like to be recorded. I don't know why. I mean, it's people get defensive about that stuff, and I don't want to deal with the drama. But we're at 31 minutes. I'm gonna have to figure out how upload works on this, and I'm gonna try to upload it through an app and see if that works. And if it doesn't work very well, then I'll upload it to the laptop and then upload it through YouTube Studio in a browser. I don't know. I'll play around with it. We'll figure this out. And I'm hoping the orientation on the video is correct. But is there anything else? Josh, are you listening? Josh, thumbs up the video. Don't forget. Do it now. You're our only hope. It's just you and the bot. Whenever I get on with USA Truck and I like put in my title USA Truck Orientation, I might get like a dozen views, because putting trucking companies in your title, people search for those trucking companies to do research, and that'll probably get me some views. But I'm not too worried about views right now. Honestly, I've been questioning whether to continue these videos at all. Selfish reasons. Like, I don't know if I want to continue the videos. But I'm definitely not trying to get views at this point. But I think that's all I got. This is recorded on the Pixel 3 using the Pixel 3's mic. So hopefully it comes out pretty good. I have a fan running about 10 feet away. So hopefully that thing is not being picked up or it's not too loud. But thanks for watching. We'll end it there.